week has been another blur. We're on to Saturday and we've done really not too much for this week. Had a beautiful fire yesterday in the windiness of the late evening. Feeling a bit jittery this morning, so I'm going to go do some breathwork by the lake, maybe have a swim, and then just prepare for our lake session that's happening tomorrow.
If you're enjoying this episode of Hya Journeys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help us out a lot.
This was my advice for people wanting to get into the water. Switch your brain off, focus on your breath, move from your analytical mind to your logical mind, so move away from emotion. I find counting down helps, like 3, 2, 1. Supposedly you're moving from one side of your hemisphere to the other when you go from this is cold, this is emotions, blah blah blah, to numbers. Howdy.
Cold?
Yeah. So we've got our Sunday session happening tomorrow, and there's a few things that we need to plan for. First stop is audio. So we always need to make sure that the music that we have for our sessions is applicable to the people that we're doing it with. So for example, if it's a corporate session, we probably don't want to have the same sort of music that's being played at a wellness retreat or a full day retreat, or something where people have a bit more experience with breathwork or cold water or a little bit more woo-woo. So for tomorrow, we're just doing a really nice introductory breathwork session for the Wānaka community. So that's down by the lakefront. So we want it to be relaxing, but also we don't want it to be too out there. So the second thing we have to do is organize our connection questions. These are the questions that we prompt to the group to speak amongst a stranger, to themselves. During our sessions, we like to form a bit more of a community. So getting people together with somebody that haven't met yet, a stranger is just a friend that you haven't met, but we pair people off and we give them some questions to prompt conversation. So we like to do them pretty lighthearted, not super deep and meaningful, but give the ability for people to meet somebody new. Wanaka is a very transient town, so a lot of people come for just winter or just summer, so trying to make sure that we can kind of build a community is really important to us. It takes a certain type of person to wake up at 8 in the morning or earlier to then make it to one of these sessions. So trying to make sure that we kind of make sure that they feel super welcomed is something that we want to aim for. And that's where the questions come in. Number 3 is charging and organizing. So we have a speaker that we want to use, which plays audio from our microphones. If it's a big crowd, if it's a little bit windy, we're able to get some really good audio, not only from our mics, but from music. Music really does set a mood, especially when people are coming to the event. Having it really quiet and awkward, especially for me, I really struggle with that. So having some really light, relaxing, calming music that people can kind of come down and just relax and listen to before the session starts and after the session start is really important. We do have a playlist if you'd like to look in the description. It's the Higher Vibes playlist. A lot of it is inspiration from when we were working with Cool to Be Conscious, but we do have a little few extras in that as well that we personally love. So making sure that all of our stuff is charged, but all of our other things are organized. So we need a mic receiver, we need the microphones, headsets, making sure that all of our phones are charged, batteries are charged, and just being organized. I find that the more organized you are, the better it is. And for today, we've got one last task to tick off the list. Spelling isn't my strongest suit, but we can do a run through. So with this sort of stuff, we're wanting to make sure that we're saying the right things, we're kind of in the right flow. So when Tiana finishes work at the cafe, we'll come back and we'll kind of do a little bit of like a dress rehearsal, I guess is the best way to describe it. It also allows for us to be more confident in the way that we present. And there's a lot more that kind of comes into these sessions than kind of rocking up, pressing play, and then going with it. So, and lucky last, we've got our socials. So making sure that we've posted a story, making sure that people are reminded about tomorrow's session, making sure they're reminded to set an alarm tomorrow. So many people are like, I'll be there, and then gets down to the last session, life gets in the way, things get a little bit too busy. So making sure we're reminding people. If we will, we'll also put it on Facebook, try to see if we can get some people in who are scrolling Facebook later in the weekend, since it's Saturday afternoon at the moment, and that's what it will be. So quick brief run through. We've got to make sure that all of our music and our audio is all good, making sure the playlist that we're using during the breathwork is great, questions, the prompting for the connection for everybody that's coming through, making sure we have charged our speakers and everything is organized, including doing a little run through of the session, how it's going to flow, making sure it's all good, and then doing a social post. So that's on for today. So I've spoken to Tiana and we've confirmed the questions. Since this is a once-off, it'll be a little bit different compared to if it was like a week in and week out. Normally we try to like make sure that we're not repeating any questions, but for this session, what we'll be asking is, what is something that you are grateful for this morning? Then what has brought you to Wānaka? And how long have you been / will you be here for? And what's something that you're excited for the summer? So quite light-hearted questions, but I think still enough to get to know the person.
Some days I miss the tide, so what if he's coming in? But I have no doubt, where I am right now is right here.
So I thought I'd spend some time reflecting upon the Sunday session that we just had, the Breathwork by the Lake, and speaking to how to kind of get the most out of these sessions and a little bit kind of behind the scenes of these. I find a lot of the time people try to integrate breathwork into their busy life, trying to deal with stress. And I touched upon this at the session, but we want to make sure that we're consistent with whatever we do, be it eating well, sleeping, breathwork, cold water, sauna, working out. These are all things that benefit from being consistent. So breathwork is the exact same. So more or less making sure that we're trying to implement it in our daily life. Not every day, it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. A couple times a week, similar to working out, going for a jog. You don't want to overdo it. But we just don't want to be linking these feelings of stress with the action itself. Otherwise, it won't be really enjoyable. We'll just be stressing about the action and we'll be linking those emotions and feelings together. So to get the most out of these sessions, I really do recommend people coming to our sessions and coming regularly. And that's not out of a personal thing, it's more out of the benefit. And the more that you do it, the better it is. So if you are wanting to start breathwork, trying to do a couple practices either each week or trying to integrate something into your daily practice is where the benefits will come from. So I really applaud you to do so. We've got some sessions coming up throughout the summertime, so if you're watching this, come join. If not, we've got some sessions coming online, a few other bits and pieces working in the background. But if not, thank you for watching this week of Hya Journeys. 9 weeks, it has been crazy. It's taken a lot of time and effort and energy, but I'm really looking forward to not only this summer, but all the adventures coming up for next year. We should have an announcement coming very soon. But yeah, thank you for watching. Liking and subscribing really does help us out a lot. Even clicking on this video or watching another one of our videos really does help. But yeah, thanks for joining.
Thank you for watching this episode of Hya Journeys. Tune in next week for a new episode and have a great week.